Hey guys, Ultima here, bringing you my first deck profile on this channel. I would have preferred to do it, on camera, but since I don't have a really good camera, I literally only have a phone to record. I'm just gonna do my deck profile videos with Dueling Book. If you're wondering why it says custom here, it's because Dueling Book does not have the new Toon support yet, so I had to pretty much make them as custom cards myself, but back on track. So, this is my first deck profile on this channel, and yeah, with Toon Chaos, that's coming out in about 5 days, by the time of the recording, we're gonna have some pretty good new support for Toons. Starting off with Toon Blackluster Soldier. So in this deck you can play 2, you can also play 3, but I only play 2, because, yeah, just the ratios. So essentially what Toon Blackluster Soldier does is you cannot normal summon or set him, and he must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing 2 monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 8. So essentially what original Blackluster Soldier did with the ritual spell is essentially what he does. So you can just send 2 of your, for example, your Harpie Lady to the graveyard to summon him, or 1 Harpie Lady and 1 of your Toon Dark Magicians, or 1 Toon Dark Magicians, 1 Toon Dark Magician and 1 Toon Dragon, just like any that equal or exceed the level of 8. And like any other Toon monster, while you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, he can attack directly. But other than most Toon monsters, he can attack immediately. So if you summon him in your second turn, let's say your opponent goes first and you can only summon Toon Blackluster Soldier and have your Toon Kingdom on field, you still have a monster that can attack with 3000 damage. Also, he has the effect that once per turn, if you have Toon World on the field, this is a trend with all Toon monsters, like most of their effects can only be activated when you have Toon World, or they can only be, attacked directly if they have Toon World. You can target 1 card on the field and banish it, but in exchange, you cannot attack with Toon Blackluster Soldier for the rest of the turn, which is fine because Toon Kingdom protects your Toon monsters from being destroyed. So next up we got 2 copies of Toon Dark Magician. He is good, but yeah, not good enough for me to play 3 of them. The reason for that being is that for his effect to activate you have to discard a Toon card in your hand. And yeah, like Red Eyes Toon Dragon is just a little bit better with summoning Toons because all you need is to have the Toon in your hand and special summon it with Red Eyes Toon Dragon. But essentially what Toon Dark Magician does is once per turn you can discard a Toon card, like I said, and then activate 1 of his 2 effects, which is either special summon a Toon monster from your deck, except Toon Dark Magician, ignoring summon conditions. So you can just summon out your Toon BLS or your Toon Red Eyes Toon Dragon. I would not summon Toon Harpie Lady with this effect, because her effect only triggers when she's summoned by her own effect. So yeah. And his other effect is that you can add a Toon spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So you can just get your search spells like Toon Table of Contents or Toon Bookmark, which you'll most likely want to do, or get your Toon Page-Flip, because that way you can also get access to a Toon monster. But since Toon Dark Magician summons Toon monsters himself already, I would recommend, if you have to go for a spell card, I would go for Toon Bookmark, because it also protects your Toon Kingdom, which you really want to do. If your Toon Kingdom's gone, you're essentially fucked. So, yeah. Next up we got Toon Harpie Lady. As I just mentioned, it's not good to summon her with the effect of Toon Dark Magician or the effect of Toon Page-Flip, because he has the effect, like all Toon monsters can attack when she's summoned, but if you control Toon World, you can special summon her from your hand, and if you control another Toon monster, when you summon her with that effect, you can destroy 1 spell trap card your opponent controls, which can be useful, like really useful to get rid of a annoying spell trap card in your opponent's side of the field. And yeah, like all Toon monsters, well, you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack directly. I'm not gonna repeat that with Red Eyes Toon. So, Red Eyes Toon Dragon, as I said before, is a little bit better than Toon Dark Magician in my opinion, because he does not require anything to summon out a Toon from your hand, but, the upside of Dark Magician is that he can summon from deck. I believe also from hand, let me check. I think it was deck or hand. No, it's only from the deck. Okay, so Toon Dark Magician is only from the deck, and Red Eyes Toon Dragon is only from the hand. But his upside is that you do not have to discard a Toon card, so if you have a Toon monster in your hand, and Red Eyes Toon Dragon on your field, which is really easy to do because of the next card we're gonna talk about, you can just summon another Toon monster from your hand, use its effect or attack with it if it's Toon Blackluster Soldier. Yeah, just do your plays that way. And to get out your Red Eyes Toon Dragon easier, we play 3 copies of the Blackstone of Legend, because when it's on the field you contribute it to special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck, except for Red Eyes Black Chick. And since Red Eyes Toon Dragon still counts as a Red Eyes monster, as you can see, its name is Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Since it still counts as a Red Eyes monster, you can summon it with the Blackstone of Legend. And you can also recycle your Red Eyes Toon Dragon if it were to be destroyed. You could just target a Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, aka your Red Eyes Toon Dragon if he's in the graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. So essentially, you can, use your Blackstone to recover your Red Eyes Toon Dragon if you're able to summon him in another way somehow, because you can only use one effect of Blackstone per turn. Our last monster is more of a trap because, it's Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Everybody knows what Ash Blossom and Joy Spring does. I'm not going to explain what Ash Blossom and Joy Spring does. You can read it here if you have to, but other than that, it essentially is just a search negate. So, next up we got Toon Kingdom. This is the card that you always want to have turn 1, which is why it's really good that we got another search spell for it. Essentially, what Toon Kingdom does is when it's activated, you banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down as payment, essentially. And it's always treated as Toon World, so it enables all your Toon effects. And your opponent cannot target Toon monsters with card effects, so it's protection for your Toon monsters. And if your Toon monster would be destroyed by a battle or by a card effect, you can just banish a card from the top of your deck face down instead, and that is not once per turn. This is also why this card is, I believe, the most expensive rare that I've come across so far. I believe in Card Market, I don't know if Card Market's also used in the US, but Card Market, it costs about 13 to 15 euro if you buy one. I think a playset price would be 18 to 20 euros for a rare card. So yeah, it really needs another reprint. I'm kind of sad that Toon Chaos did not have a reprint for Toon Kingdom, but whatever. Next up, another new card, we got Toon Bookmark, which is essentially the same as Toon Table of Contents, just a little bit better because it can also search your other Toon cards that do not specifically mention Toon in their name, because as you can read, it can either add Toon World or a card that specifically lists Toon World in its text, so either your monsters, Toon Table of Contents, if you want to search Toon Table of Contents, but it's kind of stupid if I'm being honest, because Toon Bookmark is better than Toon Table of Contents. Your Toon Page-Flip, Comic Hand. This is also the reason why we want to play one Comic Hand, as you can see here. Yeah, it's a phenomenal search card, and what makes it even better is that if it's in your graveyard and your Toon World would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish it instead. So you get a search, and you also have a protection with your Toon Bookmark. So, next up, we got, you guessed it, you already saw it pretty much, Toon Table of Contents times 3. It just makes it so that you have a really high chance to open up with at least one Toon Table of Contents or one Toon Bookmark to get at least your Toon Kingdom in your hand. But essentially, if you start with Toon Table of Contents and your Blackstone of Legend, you're pretty much set. Or if you start with Harpie Lady and Toon Table of Contents or Toon Bookmark, you're set. So yeah, it's literally just one sentence. Add one Toon card from your deck to your hand. That's why I said it's kind of worse than Toon Bookmark, because Toon Bookmark is much more versatile, but it'll get you to the Toon Kingdom or Toon Page-Flip. So, yeah. Speaking of which, we got Toon Page-Flip, another card that's gonna be released in 5 days. What it does is you have to reveal 3 Toon cards, or well, 3 Toon monsters specifically, with different names from your deck. And your opponent randomly picks one for you to special summon, ignoring its summon condition. Also, you shuffle the rest back into your deck. This is also a quick play spell, so you can set it face down and just, activate it if your opponent attacks you. So you can have at least a Toon monster to defend yourself if you have Toon Kingdom on the field, which can be really annoying if your opponent doesn't have any spell removal. They cannot get around your monsters because you can just keep banishing cards from your deck to protect your Toon monsters, or if they have no way of banishing your monsters, because they're always protected from destruction. Or, you know, if they have an effect that sends. I guess that also works. So next up, as I mentioned before, we have one comic hand. It's... yeah, it's pretty good, but like, you only play one because it's easily searchable with your Toon Bookmark. Essentially what it does is you can equip it to a monster your opponent controls and take control of it and turn it into a Toon monster. So essentially it gets all the benefits of being a Toon monster. It gets protection from your Toon Kingdom, it can attack directly. So that's really good if your opponent has a high attack point beater, but it doesn't have an effect that says something like, you know, unaffected by card effects or non-targetable. So you can just grab that monster and use it for yourself. Next up, we got 3 Pots of Extravagance. It got a reprint, but I'm not sure if the reprint's gonna be cheap, because the last time I checked it's still about 35 euro per Pot of Extravagance, which is still better than what it used to be, but still 35 euro for one card is kinda pricey. I really hope that once the set is officially out, that the price will be around like 20 euros or something, but I doubt it. I haven't really seen a lot of videos of openings of Toon Chaos. I might do one, I ordered a box, but I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, do it as an opening or just privately open it. But yeah, Pot of Extravagance got a reprinted Toon Chaos in. It's really good for this deck because you barely touch your extra deck, if at all. Essentially what it does, it's a Pot of Greed, but you have to banish 3 or 6 random face stone extra deck cards. So yeah, and for every 3 cards you banish with this effect, you can draw 1 card. So essentially, yeah, it's Pot of Greed, but it has a limitation to it. It uses your extra deck as a resource. So next up for our traps, we got 2 copies of Toon Briefcase. It's a very simple trap. Essentially what it does is when your opponent summons a monster, while you control a Toon monster, so you don't even need Toon Kingdom, you just need, for example, your Toon Harpie on the field, you can shuffle that monster back into the deck. If your opponent cannot, you know, special summon another monster that can start that combo, you can disrupt that combo with Toon Briefcase. Our last Toon card that is also, as you can see, pre-released because I had to insert it, as I said before, because it's not out on Dueling Book yet, is Toon Terror, which is a really good card because it can negate both spells and traps or monster effects as long as you control both Toon World and a Toon monster. So yeah, you negate it and then you destroy it. It's a really good card, but I don't know if I should play 2. Like, I think 1 is enough because you can actually search it. Because you got Toon Table of Contents, Toon Bookmark. So yes, it's easily searchable. So I don't know if I should bump it up to 2 or not. I might replace the 1 Summon Limit in my side deck here with another Toon Terror. But yeah. Our last traps are 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Everybody knows what it does. It's essentially Effect Veiler, but better. And then we got 2 copies of Summon Limit. Because we don't summon a lot in this deck, this can stop your opponent from building up strong boards. Okay, now for our extra deck, we got 2 copies of Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon. Since the extra deck doesn't really matter, I'm not gonna explain a lot about it. Essentially, Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon just inflicts 500 damage every time your opponent activates a effect. Then we got Lightning Chidori. When you summon, you can target a set card your opponent controls and return it to the bottom of the deck, and you can detach an Xyz material and then target a face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the top of your deck, of their deck. Then there's Abyss Dweller. You can detach a material from this card, and your opponent cannot activate any effects in the graveyard this turn. It's kind of hard to get those level 4s out to the field because you only play 3 Harpie ladies, but just in case you can use them, but in most cases you won't because like the toons themselves are already really good. So next up we have Tornado Dragon. Once per turn you can detach a material from this card and target 1 spell, trap on the field and destroy it. Then we got Harbinger Dragon, Titanic Galaxy. Everybody knows what he does. He negates a spell and attaches it as Xyz materials himself. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach a material to redirect it to himself. And if an Xyz monster is destroyed, you can target a face-up Xyz monster you control, and it gains the attack of the destroyed monster. Next up we got number 11 Big Eye. This is essentially Comic Hand as a, you know, monster. Other than, you know, the Toon effect, the Toon it's a mind control essentially. So, you can detach 1 material from this card and target a monster your opponent controls, take control of it, but it cannot attack. the turn this effect is activated. But it can still attack you the next turn, and then you can just take another monster from your opponent. So yeah, big guy can take control of up to 2 monsters. Then we got Topologic Zeroboros. If you have Accesscode Talker, I would recommend playing him over Topologic Zeroboros, but if you're a budget player, I would recommend, playing Zeroboros. The reason why I don't have Accesscode Talker in this deck profile is because I cannot afford him. He's currently on 60 euros, I believe. And I don't want to pay that much for just a single card. Pot of Extravagance is already gonna, kinda, hurt my bank account. If the price stays like it is, it's gonna hurt my bank account a little bit. Because, 30 euro for one card, or 30 plus euro. Like, if it's just 30 euro, I might be fine. But, like, anything above 30 euro is kinda, ugh. Like, I don't like buying cards that cost more than 30 euro each. So yeah, if you can play Accesscode Talker, if you pull them from a booster, or trade it for him somehow, play him over Zeroboros, but if you can, just take Zeroboros, he's like a 10-cent card or something, I don't know. Then we got Borrelsword Dragon. Everyone knows what he does. Then we got Unicorn, shuffles a card on the field back into the deck. We got Phoenix, destroys spells. Cerberus, who destroys monsters. I believe. What is a monster? Yeah, it's a monster in the main monster zone, he destroys it. And then there's Barricadeborg Blocker, who's essentially just here to link climb. You can also play a Link Karibo instead of him, in my opinion, but since you're not gonna use your Blackstone for, link plays, you're mostly just gonna use them to summon out Red as Toon Dragon, I would still go with Barricade Blocker to have a generic Link 2 monster that you can use to link climb. Yeah. I also have a side deck here that I'm gonna use, but that's just a recommendation. You can play something else. But what I play is two Toon Ancient Gear Golems to have, 2 stronger beaters, so essentially you can just switch out, you can just switch out your 2 Toon Dark Magicians for your 2 Toon Ancient Golems to have a stronger beater. Or switch out 2 of your Harpie Ladies for 2 Toon Ancient Gear Golems. Then we have 3 Lancias. Everybody knows what Lancia does. If you're playing against Orcust, you're gonna need some Lancias. And we got 3 Cosmic Cyclones. If you have Lightning Storm, play Lightning Storm, but it's the same issue as with Accesscode Talker. It's about a 70 euro card, I believe, and I'm not willing to buy a playset of that. Accesscode Talker is already bad enough. Then we got 1 Summon Limit. We already have 2 in our deck, but if you need another one, it's in the side deck here. Then we got 3 copies of There Can Only Be One. Since you play a large variety of monsters, like all of your 2 monsters are different types. So for example, BLS is a warrior, Dark Magician is a spellcaster, Harpie Lady is a winged beast, and Red as Toon Dragon is, as its name suggests, a dragon. You can just use There Can Only Be One against a deck like, for example, Salomon Grades. Your opponent can only have 1 on the field, but you can have all of your tunes on the field. That can really disrupt your opponent, and yeah. We also have Evenly Matched. Like, literally, I put Evenly Matched into every side deck because it's just that good of a card. So yeah, this is my deck profile. I will get to the combos now. See you in a bit. Okay, here we are with the combos. Essentially, a very simple combo that you can do is if you have 1 Blackstone of Legend in your hand and 1 Toon Bookmark, or, Toon Table of Contents, but, Toon Bookmark is better. Essentially, what you do is you activate your Toon Bookmark. That allows you to search for your Toon Kingdom. And then you can activate your Toon Kingdom, banish 3 cards face down. Here we go. I haven't used Dueling Book in a while, so forgive me. You banish 3 cards face down to activate it. Then you normal summon your Blackstone. Activate Blackstone's effect. To summon a Red Eyes Toon Dragon from your deck. And that already gives you a pretty decent board, because you can protect your Red Eyes with Toon Kingdom, and then you can also summon another Toon from your hand. For example, let's say I have Toon BLS in my hand. I can activate Red Eyes Toon Dragon's effect and special summon BLS, and then you already have a pretty decent board. Okay, another combo is if you just have Toon Kingdom and Toon Page-Flip in your hand, you activate your Toon Kingdom, banish 3 cards face down. Then you activate Toon Page-Flip and reveal 2, not 2, I mean 3 3 of your tuned monsters in your deck. It's weird in Dueling Book, I'm gonna do it like this. I usually do it like this. So you reveal your Dark Magician, your Red Eyes Toon Dragon, and your BLS. So your opponent can see them here. And I just like to do it like this. And the opponent just randomly picks one. So let's say your opponent picks your Red Eyes. So you special summon your Red Eyes and put the others back into the deck. And that gives you already a good monster to, you know, be protected with Toon Kingdom, and also, if it was BLS you could attack directly, but, you know, Red Eyes Toon Dragon you can also summon another Toon monster, so yeah, this deck is just really versatile, it's fun to play, but I wouldn't say it's top tier. Like, I don't see this deck topping regionals or something, but it's good in its own way. Anyways, this was my Toon deck profile, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this deck, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want to, and see you guys next time. Bye.